Clue 2.
Yep.
How
excited.
was everyone's week?
Hopefully everything went well. No, we've been checking the threads and stuff and seeing, like, you know, if people were having problems with things and all that. So I guess the first thing that we'll talk about is closing the gap. We're distracted, obviously.
Everyone is chatting over there. Okay. Shh. Everyone be quiet for a moment. Hey, you're used to it.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? This is just what it is. But
so I guess the first thing I'll talk about is the gaps. And some people, if you're finding that there's little holes there, just do it tighter. We've actually had some people come back and say that they like the gaps there and they're gonna leave them. So you just knit across it. Don't do anything with closing the gap, and then you'll have your little eyelets running across the top of it.
The way they were doing it was leaving a little eyelet as well.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe just like you said, if weren't snugging tight enough, or maybe not going in the the right place, but it's okay. Just do it consistently for the rest of the show and you'll love it.
Exactly.
You'll love it. No stress.
Yeah, exactly. And so, because I guess that's the tough thing with me, because I am such a tight knitter to begin with. And when I close those gaps, it just shrinks it right shut, because I don't have any spare space, if that makes sense.
I guess.
That makes sense.
You're just
I'm just a really tight knitter, I guess.
Tight knitter. What I wanted to say is inappropriate. I'm just kidding.
Oh.
It's all good.
So, but yeah, it looks like everybody's having fun and enjoying the section so far. So that's exciting.
I'm loving the color combinations. And then I've seen some of the ladies that are knitting the same yarn that I'm using, and I'm like, oh, I love the order.
That'll be the harder thing, right? Is to see other people's orders. Yeah.
It just looks so good. So again, if you are jumping in and you're not sure, because I have had some questions like, where do I post? What do I do? So if you've gotten the pattern and you're on Ravelry, if you go under the groups tab in Ravelry, you will find Cozy Up Knits. Just search us. In there, once you're in, join the group, you will see little, they call them threads. So it'll say MKAL spoiler thread or non-spoiler. And when you click on that, you can reply and comment in there. That's where,
like a little chat.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be drawing winners for every chat. Well, it's mine, but you can have some.
Oh, did I not bring some over here?
Oh, actually that was yours and it was not mine. Mine is over there.
Oh, that's funny.
Whatever, we'll share the water.
Yeah.
And then the other place is on Instagram. And that way, when you post a picture, you use what they call a hashtag. And so you type hashtag MiniMe2023MKAL. That's the little pound sign for those of us, number sign, pound key with the little hashtag that's written in the pattern. And then you can, we will see it. And that's how we can
draw from.
Yeah, we can draw winners from there as well. And that's how you enter, in a sense. So if you want to get in on prizes. If not, you just knit along and have fun. Yeah. So, go ahead.
I don't know what I was going to say.
We're getting flashed here.
There we go.
All the lights. So we talked about the gaps. Let's talk a little bit about yardage.
Okay, yes. Okay. What are your questions about yardage? Let me ask them.
All right. So, what do I do if I'm running out of yarn and I am getting close, or I'm not sure that I'm going to have enough to finish the wedge with my mini?
Okay, so keep in mind, first and foremost, is that at the beginning, like the beginning amount of repeats, let's say it's repeat whatever 7 times total or whatever, your first 3 to 4 times are going to be quite long because you're working across the entire thing, but they're getting shorter and shorter. So your yarn will get eaten up quicker, and it might go, you might think to yourself, holy crap, I have 4 more repeats to do. I only have this much left. Well, they are going to be they're going to be quite a bit quicker rows. We're just going to have a little microwave here.
It's not yours, it's ours.
It's our
not
microwave.
Your microwave, it's our microwave, because we've been here all day.
Yeah.
People need to live around us. So, so that's one thing, because there were actually a couple comments that were like, oh, I thought I was running out of yarn.
But then it ends.
So I did this, and then now I have 4 grams left over. It's like, trust the process.
Yeah.
But also, if you are knitting at a looser gauge than what we recommended, or your skeins are shorter, people are saying, oh, I have scraps, like 15 grams of this scrap I'd like to use.
Yeah.
We make no guarantee, because you are probably going to run out of yarn.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to go to wedge CC3. And I am going to, okay, so we repeat rows 3 and 4 7 more times. And we are going to anywhere between 12 and 15 stitches between your gaps.
Which we'll talk about.
Which, just ignore that confusing part. and we'll get back to that. So you've got, let's say 14, 14, 14, 14, and you're worried that you're running short, do like 14, 16, like do a little bit more in between.
Yeah, like whatever you finish off your little stitch pattern repeat, like your yarn over, knit two together, knit one or whatever, finish that off. But if you're, you know, spread it out.
So that would be 14, 15, 16. So, I mean, you could do up to 17 between the gap. Yeah. That's where we want the consistency. Either you keep it consistent at 17, 17, 17, 17, or whatever your number works out to be, or you go, you know, 11, 14, 17,
21,
20, or whatever it is. Yeah. Kind of keep increasing it. You will have enough room to work it across the, like, for the amount of repeats I have. I never go right to the end, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You'll have room, you've got extra stitches at the end to make up for any type of increase that you do between the gap.
Yeah.
Not stitch count increase, but gap space increase.
That's where you're going to be able to save on yardage, is increasing your gap space. That's what we're
gap
saying,
space.
okay?
Yes.
Gap space, you will save yardage, because we still want you to get those 7 repeats in, let's say, but you can make them further apart.
Yep.
So that's where we're not stressing this whole time about stitch counts, which is why we're going to talk about why it says between 11 and 14, or we're going to have a little bit of leeway here.
There's actually a lot of leeway in all of this pattern.
You're just going to learn to just go with the flow with this pattern. I feel like, you know,
don't get hung up on numbers.
It's good to just see also how you can manipulate a pattern.
Yes.
On your own. This is a good skill to have, I believe, when you're knitting.
Yeah.
To go, oh, it's not so scary to veer off maybe what exactly is written here.
Yeah.
Here's how you can make these adjustments.
And that took you some time to learn.
Yeah.
Now we hack all the patterns. We hack our own patterns as we're designing them.
We're telling you to hack our own pattern as you go.
Yeah.
You do you, but there's a reason. And then you'll see how you can, like I said, save your yardage.
Yeah. The biggest thing with that and manipulating the stitch pattern is, or like those numbers between the gaps, is finish off, do the entire repeat. So star to star is yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1. Make sure you do that yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1, and then end it. Like don't end, you know, because that extra yarn over would give you an extra, well, I guess you could technically end it after the knit.
We're not going
to. Never mind.
Do what, you're going to finish your little repeat.
Finish the full repeat and then stop that whenever you want. Yeah. And so,
and don't stress if there's 11 stitches before the gap, or if it's 14 stitches, or if it's 17. Don't stress about that, or 15. If you were off a stitch, it's okay.
Yeah.
Just finish that repeat, turn, and
continue on. Yeah. And like we said, the biggest thing with that is consistency. And if you're consistently increasing your number between the gaps, that will look great. If you're consistently keeping the same number between the gaps, that will look great. Like, if you've got like a big chunk and then a small chunk, then a big chunk, like that's where it would look a little awkward, and that's where we come in with the consistency.
Just go gradually
up
if you want. Yeah.
If
you're worried about yardage. If you're not, and you're getting to, and you're like, oh, I'm fine.
Yep.
Sarah had yarn left over after every
single color.
I know we were like, oh, be careful of yardage, and then we give you C1 and you don't use all of C1.
Yeah.
C1 is used the least.
Yes.
Okay. C2, everyone was like, I'm a little closer. And then it will be more like that for the rest.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be like you have a ton left over like C1.
Yeah. No, I feel like C1 and one other of my ones, I had a decent amount left, but I can't remember now. It was like, I think it was this one.
Just, oh yeah, which would
I think it was down here. It's
Would
down
that
later
be?
on. I'll remember as we get into the clues.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Yeah, I felt like it was 6.
Maybe. Anyway, doesn't matter. Just go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Okay, so that's the big. Now here we're going to talk about, I think probably the biggest question we'll get is this: why am I knitting to approximately this to this?
Yeah.
Go for that.
So I could have written 14 different rows. First of all, I could have written 14 different rows for this one clue and had a gigantic tons of rows where you're essentially doing the same thing. You just might end with a few, like a different number at the end, like repeat X and X till 14 stitches, till 13 stitches, till 12 stitches. So if you're ending somewhere between, you know, the 11 and 15, you're good.
You're good.
I'm not going to write all these rows out. Plus what we're saying is, you know, if you come up with a totally different number than me or whatever, like don't worry about it. The only time I would worry, and it won't happen in this clue here at all, is if you're like 20 stitches off from what I've said.
Yeah.
Like that's different. But when you're a stitch or two off, like up or down,
yeah,
like I don't want people to be like, well, I'm a stitch out and what do I do? And blah, blah, blah. How did I mess this up? Or what's happening? It looks good. I can't figure it out. Like,
just go with it.
Just go with it. Like, so you're going to find that, so in CC3 and in CC4, so wedge number 3 and wedge number 4, I believe, are they both the same? Oh, this one's 15 to 20 and my other one's 11 to 14 to 15. So yeah, like
and again, that's an approximate.
Yeah.
But that means stitches before the gap.
Yeah,
so
in
if
between.
you finish your little, if you finish your yarn over, what is it?
Yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1.
And you're like, oh, I have 13 stitches left before my gap. Turn.
Turn.
If you have 11, turn. Just finish that little repeat.
And then turn.
And then turn. If you have somewhere in that number, you'll be good.
And also with that approximately, you know, 11 to 15 stitches is like that for you could be 17 or 18. Like, because if you're spacing out your gaps a little bit more,
yes, if you
your numbers won't match up anyways.
That's right. For those that are already like, I only have 15 grams.
Yeah.
I really want to use this color here. Then you're going to need to do this.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you already know that you're low.
Yeah.
This is going to be how you do it.
And it's a very simple, quick repeat that once you're done, like yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1, and then you go, oh, I have 17 stitches, but I really feel like I need to turn.
Turn it.
Turn it. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah.
And like we said, if you're a stitch or 2 off from our actual, because changing these numbers, turning your work between 11 and 15 stitches is not going to change your stitch count.
No.
Because you're doing your increases at the very beginning of the row.
Regardless, yeah.
So if you finish your CC or your section or you're counting halfways in between or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm 2 stitches off. I have 2 extra stitches. You can make up for it in the garter break between. The garter split.
Yes. Garter is where you're going to make up your stitch count so that you start each wedge with the correct stitch number.
Yeah.
That's important. We want you to start each color wedge
with the correct stitch number. Because if you've gone up and over the stitch count that I've said after the garter wedge, you're going to have more stitches to work across for your short rows.
Definitely run out of yarn.
Like we don't want people to run out of yarn. So if you, between that garter wedge, the garter split wrong side between C3 and C4, you do your count after C3. Oh, you've got two stitches too many. I was going to say too many, but then that was too many 2s. 2 stitches too many.
Are you confused yet?
Then don't do 1 row of your knit front backs or one. Take one of those increases out on each side and that takes away 2. Or if you need to make up stitches, like you're too short, and then you could work across a garter row, do your regular increases on the edges, and you could add somewhere in the middle, just kind of space them out and add an extra stitch here or there. Make up your stitch count in your garter split. But don't worry about it during your wedges.
I agree.
Okay.
And I would also say there was some question about like, oh, I've used up this much, you know, of my main color. If you've started with the amount of main color we told you to start with, you'll be fine. We had main color left over. And it will all work out. You will have plenty of main color. So
the feature is the wedge.
The feature are
so
your
far
minis.
Are the minis. Well,
so far.
I mean,
we'll get there.
So.
Are you excited yet?
So I think that's probably it. This isn't in camera, is it?
You checked the camera.
Yeah, but then we grabbed it and we're looking at it.
Just wait.
Okay, I haven't touched it.
No, it's not in camera. No.
Okay.
No.
My glue was sitting there.
The whole time we're talking.
Back there and we can do the spoiler.
Okay, so spoiler.
So here's your spoiler. We're going to show our MKALs.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Because I don't think we have much more to talk about.
Nope. Ask your questions.
Sorry, I hit the
Message us, however. Oh, okay. Chill out there.
Oh, did I just whip
Chill
it?
out there.
I'm trying to like stretch it out here.
Nice.
Okay, so from last week, here's my C1 and C2. There's my clue 1.
So there's all your seed stitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
here is your new clue. There's C3 and...
Did I do it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll clip that part out.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, I clipped a part.
Okay, we're going again. There.
Can you see it?
Yeah, just go up a touch more.
There.
Stop. So there's a little peek of your two eyelet sections right there. I love your color, Sarah.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, you're good there.
Okay, well, I have one more to show.
Okay, all right. So this was now talk about how you're alternating your CCs for this.
Okay, so I wish I would have had this last week, and it would have been nice to have talked about it last week for the people that are using 3 full skeins. So that's this one here. Hold on. So I am using, okay, hold on.
Ugh.
Did I do it?
No, it's fine.
It's
all the same color.
These are all the same colors. You'd never notice what was happening. Okay, so here's my clue 1.
Okay, slow.
So my main color is my lighter variegated. And I was originally going to put this as one of my wedge colors. Oh, sorry. As one of my wedge colors. But then I was like, you know, the contrast between this and this is better than, because I was going to have my gray as my main color. And I went, oh, you know what? I'm going to do both my solids as my CCs.
Yeah.
And have my variegated, my lighter variegated as
I love this color combo.
So there's that. And then...
So then she went like, you know, her one color. Then you're just going to alternate.
Gray, red. It's not red.
It's pink.
I'm saying those words.
Okay, and slow. Okay, good.
Is it too high?
Put your head down now.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, come up here.
Ooh, this hurts my arms.
That's okay. So there is her gray again in her eyelets, slowly, and right there. Yeah. There is her eyelets.
Yeah.
Oh, and do you see how they're alternating?
And they go like that. It's fun. Oops, I just lifted it all up again. But this one isn't, like, you wouldn't notice.
There's still a little
I already, like, whipped my first one up too high, so I've done a funny clip in there already.
I know, I'm like, here's the whole thing.
Let's show it all.
Exactly. So I will show you, I can pull mine out. I am not completed clue 2 yet, but so I can just hold
You
this
would have
right
been,
up.
But you guys went on a trip.
We went away.
But at least you can hold up the first wedge of clue 2 nice and close.
You can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
So there's my clue 1 from last week. Yeah, you go look. And then I've got my first, and by me I mean Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah put my first little wedge on. It's not done yet, I don't think, hey?
No, the wedge is done.
Oh, really?
I forget. Maybe just count your stitches when you get home. I forget now.
Can't be done. I got lots of...
I forget.
I'll have to look. I think I have more to do. I think I might have more to do. We'll see. Can you see it?
Yep.
Love it.
Oh,
This
it looks
is the polka dot
so
cream.
nice.
And then my next color that's going in is the darker green.
Ooh, nice.
So you'll see that after the MC, I'll pop the dark green in.
Yeah.
And, oh, this is sidebar. What we want to add, we'll pop this in maybe into our MKAL as well, or into our podcast from this week.
Oh, right.
But because we're doing a mystery knit along right now.
And we've done this before and we just kind of forgot this year. We have.
Okay.
We've done it every year, I think.
And if we didn't, well, we think we did. While we're knitting this, we are going to put all of our previous mystery knit along shawls on sale.
Yeah, 40% off.
40%
Jamie's
off.
40.
That's right. We'll go with it. But whoever's the oldest gets to be the percentage.
Yeah.
So
You'll always be the oldest.
I'll always be the oldest. So whatever. It's 40%. It'll be no coupon needed.
Yeah.
Just a regular sale on all our MKAL shawls.
Yeah.
Which are called, anyway. Do we list them? We probably should say what they are.
Okay, so we have
my sister shawl,
twin it up the creek, my sister's favorite things,
and throwing it back. So those are the five
MKALs
that are on sale. This is the 6th. This is last year's.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So there's no tutorial. There's no anything. Yeah. That is the end of it.
It's all pretty straightforward. The biggest thing with this clue was talking about the whole. Like this number and this, the approximate numbers between the gaps.
Yeah, and how to deal with
because
yardage.
some people won't love that. I haven't said this exact number.
Do you love it?
But you know what?
We have to throw something in that people don't love.
You do your own exact number. You do your number. And like I said, I was worried about, because like I said, I'm such a tight knitter. I knew people were going to have issues with yardage, so I wanted to make it. Plus, I wasn't writing out 20 rows of the exact same thing when I'm going to tell people to do your own number anyways. So that's kind of why I did that.
Yeah, I think it's great. It makes it easy. I think it's a good skill.
It is. It really is.
It's a good skill to learn.
If you're knitting something and you're like, oh, I just don't love this one particular thing in this particular pattern, it's not scary to do something else or to change little tiny things. And as you get more comfortable with doing that, I find like with bigger projects like a sweater, this is totally not having anything to do with the MKAL, but you know, it makes you more confident in being able to go, you know what, I've done this particular arm pickup. I'm gonna do it on this
and
new
I like
sweater.
it, and I'm gonna
like
do
this.
it myself.
I like this technique. Like I do the tubular bind off on all my sweaters, no matter what it calls for. Yeah. I almost, and I don't have it on this sweater, but I almost always do a split hem with a longer hem in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, you know, there's particular things that I love about patterns, and I'm going to do it in patterns even if they don't call for it. So, yeah. So just, all that to say, it's a good skill.
Yeah, like we've said, throw in your own kind of short row if you don't like this one. Yeah. You know, just sort of do you. Yeah. And it's going to turn out beautifully. Yeah. You're going to love it. It's going to be great.
I'm excited.
Okay, well, that was clue 2.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
Yay!
Bye.
Happy knitting.
Happy knitting.